Howdy, y'all, and welcome to another edition of the Archeryshack Shop Talk podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm TJ.
We're on podcast 41. 41 weeks we've been doing this, and we can't believe y'all are still watching us dummies, but thank you.
Yep.
Couple things to talk about real quick. If you were to want a t-shirt like TJ's got on, lime green, Archeryshack on front and back, big one on the back. There's a link down if you're watching YouTube. I think it's $12, something like that. We've already had several of y'all order them. Thank you. That helps us, goes to the channel, gives us $1 or $2 to put towards whatever. And you can actually go to the description. There's all kind of stuff down there to click around with. But thanks for the super chats on the live feed on the Thursday nights. And we really appreciate it.
Yeah, we sure do.
So 41 weeks we've been doing this.
Yep.
We'll have to come up with a big shindig we do on the 1 year anniversary, but it's funny because we were like, let's do 3 of them and just see if people actually watch them or listen to them. And y'all did. And it seems like we've got a small following as we went on. And then if you're new and just started watching us, we got a Thursday night live feed on YouTube that starts at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then we hop over on Facebook around 7:15 for a few minutes and hang out. There's a few folks that don't jive with YouTube and vice versa. So, but it seems like YouTube does better for us as far as keeping everything straight. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. We also put out like a tune-in video every week of a bow tune, sometimes a bow review, sometimes us shooting a course, that sort of thing. So we're just a bunch of old rednecks at an archery shop trying to put out a little content.
Yep.
But a lot of stuff going on this time of the year. Had a shoot this weekend at our local club, Kiwi Bowman, and I'm sure it's probably got a good number of people there, but it is hot. It's got to be about 90 degrees here in South Carolina, and we're just about to get into June. A lot of this COVID crap is sort of getting done with, and we can get out and about, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm ready to see all the shoots get going. They had one, 2 weeks ago, had 160 people on the 3D side of it, so that's pretty good.
Yep.
Hopefully they have a good one this week. I know Perry, the president of Kiwi Bowman, had some health issues. So if you're watching, Perry, get well soon, buddy. Yep. We didn't want to bother. We asked Jackie, and we all didn't want to bother you and check and call you and mess with you because I know how that can be. But if you're watching, get well soon, and we'll see you soon, I'm sure. But I'm excited. Everybody's getting kicked back off, and
yep. I did see where Kentucky give the ASA to go ahead for London. I think it's June 25th through the 27th. I think it is that weekend.
Yeah, I think you got to do a temperature check. There's a couple rules. I mean, it wasn't nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
But you do have to do a temperature check and that sort of thing before you can, I guess, when you get there or whatever. So
yeah.
I guess everybody's seen that coming. So
oh yeah.
I'll be curious to see if it alters any of the other ASA shoots. Because Metropolis canceled, right?
I think so. I think Metropolis canceled. So the Fort Benning shoot, I think, is now the classic, because they were going back to, because they canceled Fort Benning and they made it the classic. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've looked at it, but I'm pretty sure that Fort Benning is the ASA classic. And they did cancel Metropolis, I believe.
I think that's right. I'm just like, I guess it would suck to be a pro shooter and that's your only job, and you probably lost a lot of money this year, even if you were one of the top shooters, because there's not as many shoots. But
yeah,
it's just a different type of year. Hopefully everything.
What about IBO? Have you heard anything out of them?
I hadn't looked, or
me neither.
Nothing. I hadn't looked at anybody, to be honest, but.
Me neither. It was kind of weird because me and you both were jacked up about shooting this year, and then all of a sudden Corona hit.
Just let the air out of us.
It just kind of old flat tire going down.
So, and now, not to sound like a baby, but it's 90 degrees and humid. I mean, we shoot in it, and we will shoot in it, but during the nicest part of our year, which is springtime, we kind of lost out, so that sucks.
Yeah.
But we'll get back going. I got to come up with a shoot for the shop and all that stuff. But anyway, still having a lot of bows dropped off, having a lot of bows shipped in. I've videoed several that got shipped in that'll be coming out on the channel the next few Sundays. I'm trying to think. I had a couple Matthews, had some bears, had some different stuff, so that'll be cool.
Had a limb saver too that we did.
Yeah, I had a limb saver bow come in, which is not something you see a whole lot of. Like, I've shot them, but I don't know that we've ever had one dropped off in the shop because I don't even know where they would have got it from. I don't know if anybody local.
I don't either.
Must have been ordered off the internet thing, which is fine, but little different bow, little different look. That bow was a couple years old, but we got it tuned up and shooting good. Had a good old Matthews Q2 come in. I really like that bow. Matter of fact, it ought to be delivered back to him today. Let me look real quick, just out of curiosity. But a lot of stuff happening because of the corona, or at least that's what we figure.
Yeah.
Has happened earlier in the year that normally wouldn't happen until mid to late July, because I figure people were just at home and like, hey, let's do, let me get my bow tuned up here.
Well, and we appreciate those kind of people because we know what's coming starting about mid to late July, and then August. We know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
we're going to be swamped, and people's going to be fussing and cussing that we can't get their bow done before opening day and everything else. So, for those that have, and even if you're not local to us, if you were able to go in your local shop and go ahead and get, your new strings or get a tune up and everything, I know those guys will appreciate it too. Just,
I mean, most everybody's cool, but we get into August, a month before the season. I'd have to look at an exact number to tell you, but let's just say our business goes up probably 10x. I mean, it goes way up for a month and a half to 2 months there, and then you get those few people. We tell them it's going to be about 2 weeks, and they get rowdy because they want their bow right back and all that, and there's nothing we can particularly do. Not that we do everything we can do. If somebody comes in, there's a special circumstance, we always make sure we get them fixed up. But we also can't take 50 bows and have them done the next day either. So.
Yeah, we can't do that.
But anyway, good times. But a lot of interesting crossbows lately.
Yeah.
A little bit of interesting kids' bows and all that. And I'm curious to see what the schools are going to do. I've been hearing all this stuff about the fall and what the schools are going to do and that sort of thing. But I don't know. I think the fall, I'm just waiting to see what happens in the fall, whether everything gets back to normal or if this stuff comes back around or what happens.
Well, I mean, I'm no doctor. I'm no expert on all this or anything like that. But, I mean, you kind of got to think it's going to come back around. But how are we going to treat it? Because the flu comes around every year. And so are we going to treat it like the flu from now on, or is it going to be the same thing? We're going to shut everything back down for 2 months.
I don't think that can keep happening. In cool news, Elon took and put one of his SpaceX capsules with 2 people on it up in space into the space station. I thought that was cool. We watched it in the shop, and I've always been kind of into the space stuff, so I thought that was neat. I'd love to see us hit the old moon in our lifetime, and then maybe look into Mars and all that. But and I don't know what good that does, but it's just cool.
I guess to see if there really is aliens.
There's got to be. Look at some of our customers. I'm just kidding. I guess I've watched too much Men in Black.
Either that or Marvin the Martian off the Looney Tunes.
Oh, LT. But anyway, I'm trying to think of what all else has been going on. Like I say, a lot of bows have been dropped off. We got a video coming up soon that's going to be interesting. We had somebody, and I'm only mildly familiar with all this stuff. We're going to do a ranch fairy tuning session, let's call it that, with his bow. And there's a guy called the Ranch Fairy on YouTube. Some of y'all probably watch him. I've watched him a few times, but I'm not super familiar with him. But he takes pretty much a heavy arrow setup with all this high front of center stuff and plays with it with a bare shaft through paper. And so I've ordered all the stuff, and I'm on probably video. I've already videoed us tuning the bow, but when we get into this, I'm going to tune it just for reference or whatever. So that should make a neat video in a few weeks. But we're going to try some Rampage 200 spines and 250 spines and see how heavy we can get it, and see if we can get it to, I think he said he's going to take it elk hunting. So that'll be a neat deal. And it's a Matthews, what is it, a Z7 Extreme, I think it was.
Z7 Extreme Tactical.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
Yep.
That will be fun. Also, I should have mentioned this in our opening talk, but if you need a bowstring, you can go on archeryshackstrings.com and enter the code podcast15, and it'll get you 15% off your order. We've seen a lot of folks do that since we started it, so
yeah,
thanks for that as well. We've had a little bit of talk about bow fishing, but our bow fishing season really wasn't because of the, there probably was people bow fishing, but I didn't hardly talk to any of them because of the corona. I guess people were just kind of locked down. And
I know right there, as soon as they opened all the boat ramps back up, I remember that one day we got probably, I bet you 10 calls wanting to know if we had bow fishing stuff. And so I'm assuming there was a tournament going out somewhere.
Must have been.
But you can always tell when there's a bow fishing tournament around close, because they'll call us, wanting to know, we got bow fishing airs or reels and stuff like that. But, bow fishing is popular, but.
Here's something I thought about the other day we could talk about. Had you rather have a long draw length to where you could get plenty of speed and that sort of thing, but I don't know if people's thought about this. This is something I've thought about a little bit, but with a long draw length, you've got a longer time of your arrow being on the string. So technically, it's almost a disadvantage because there's a longer time for you to make a mistake, Or would you rather have a shorter draw length but have to shoot a little more poundage? I was listening, this has been like 2 or 3 years ago, to somebody talking about sort of like Dan McCarthy versus Levi Morgan. Dan's got a little short draw length but shoots like, I think, 70 couple pounds. Levi's got a big long draw length and can shoot a lot less poundage. But Levi was saying he feels like he's at a disadvantage. I never thought of this much, because the arrow's on the string a lot longer. So if he makes a mistake, it shows up a lot bigger than say, Dan.
I can kind of agree with that, because I noticed with my setup, I've noticed there's sometimes I think I make a good shot, but I get down range and I'm like, well, darn, that wasn't as good of a shot as I thought it was. So I could see where that would come into play.
Yeah. I've thought of it a few times. I don't think I've ever really talked about it with anybody. And now with faster bows, now a long time ago, I could see where short man's not good.
Yeah.
He's going to be at a disadvantage because of speed. But now, not so much. Not so much at all. There's just so much stuff has come so far as speed and smoothness and.
Oh man, the technology is getting, and that's like we talk about every year about the time that, the hype of all the bow companies releasing new bows. We get asked a lot, well, what's so and so coming out with this year? And we're like, well, last year, if y'all can go back and listen to the podcast and everything, I would have swore some bow company was going to be gunning for, 400 feet per second out of a compound. I really thought that. And then they threw us a curveball and they just they went more towards comfort, I guess you can say. So I'm interested to see what it'll be this time around.
Yep. I'm curious to really know, and I've heard speculation already that because of this virus, that I've heard that several bow companies may either push back their release date to January, which I wish they'd do anyway, or not release a 2021 bow because the engineers were gone for 2 months and they're behind the game. So I'm curious to see, and I know we're not a Matthews dealer, but I was seen on somewhere a guy was saying he'd had a VXR ordered and it had been like 15 weeks, and people were saying, why even get it now? Because now, in November, they're coming out with brand new bows and all this. And I thought, I wonder what's going to happen there.
I kind of wondered that. I'd seen something about that too. If they were going to release all the new bows at the ATA, but I could almost see them not release. I can see some companies not releasing a 2021 bow lineup.
I could see it. I really could. And I remember, a long time ago, bow companies didn't release a bow every year. It was like every 2 years.
Yep.
I still don't think that's a bad idea, because then instead of what I feel like companies do a lot now is they'll come out with a nice bow, but then milk it for about 3 years.
Yep.
It's just little tiny tweaks that ain't really worth nothing.
Yep.
I'd rather them wait every 2 years and have bigger advances than just these little tweaks. But that's just me. But I don't know.
I ain't gonna name no company, but one of them, it was the exact same bow. They just changed the riser up.
Yep.
From the year before.
Yep.
And some people probably know which one I'm talking about. And they changed the name of it. But it was the exact same bow from the year before.
It's just, I don't see how that, I don't know. I guess it sells bows, but to me as a shop, it's like they come out with this big bad bow. Most everybody's coming out with it during hunting season, which is already for us a big no-no, because we just sold everybody a bow saying this is brand new 2020 bow, and then it's still 2020, but it's October, November, and you're coming out with a 2021. So then people are like, well, now my bow's old. Or some people, not everybody, you know what I mean? And then we get a few in from their little first run, and then pretty much every company we've ever dealt with, they get a little behind, so then you're looking at another month or two to get any more in. So you get people excited, they come in, well, I want a different color, or we've sold out of them, or whatever. Then you wait, and it's just like,
it gets.
Why not just build? You're gonna sell them, build them jokers up, release them in January, and have them for the most part ready to ship, because you kind of know they know what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't ever remember back in the day when we worked at Bucks and Bass. I don't ever remember us having a big long waiting list, which, I mean, we did have a long waiting list of people that wanted new ones, but they pretty much, we would order them and they would be there within a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I don't remember waiting, not like we do today.
No.
Because, I mean, it's been some crazy wait times, and that's not just on stuff we carry. That's on all, everybody I know with different bows they carry.
And
been that way.
And then plus, that's pre-COVID-19 too.
Yep.
I mean, we're not talking just, recently with COVID-19, but this was, last year on regular orders. So it's weird how the ship time and everything has changed.
I guess another big thing is now there's so many. Used to, it was like 1 or 2 colors, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no options on colors hardly. Now there's like a million different riser and limb colors that I guess they got to figure out. And, so it used to be a 60 or 70 pound bow. Now it's like 55, 60, 65, 70, 80, whatever. So
yeah,
I guess all that comes into play.
Yep.
But anyway, it's just things change, and I guess sometimes I don't like it. Sometimes I don't like it. We've had a lot of folks emailing us about arrow builds, and so again, if you have any arrow questions, you can email us. The emails down in the description. But we can order any arrow. We've had that asked a lot, so we can get whatever Easton, whatever. We mainly deal with Black Eagle in house, with a little bit of Easton and a little bit of tiny bit of Carbon Express, but I don't know. We've had a lot of people say, hey, I'd like to shoot this. I'd like to end up with a 600 grain arrow by this manufacturer. Can you handle it? Yeah, of course we can. So just email us if you have anything like that you want to get going.
But, depending on what spine that you're wanting to run, especially if it's not one that we carry, allow us a week or two to get everything together, and we'll stay in contact with you and everything, but, just give us a week or two to get everything together. Because I know we've had a couple that were, in case we have to order something that we don't have in the shop, like we just said, with all the ship times and everything, people, a lot of these manufacturers just now getting back to work, so it'll take a little bit longer to get to us. So, which in turn, which we hate, takes a little bit longer to get to you.
Yeah.
But, just bear with us a little bit.
Well, we'll get it. We'll get it. What broadheads everybody shooting this year? There's so many broadheads now. Used to, it was like you could stock 2 or 3 models, and that's what 90% of people were going to shoot.
Yep.
And now we got 20 models on the wall, and people still come in and are like, oh, y'all need to carry. It's like, Lord, we can't carry every broadhead out there. But if it's something that's outstanding, I do want to carry it.
I've seen a lot of people going to the one-piece single bevels.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are going that route. But my old tried and true and old faithful is a Grim Reaper. But I may switch up this year and shoot something else, but I ain't sure yet.
I may try some of those new sick broadheads because I was just like the way they look.
I thought about them on the mechanical side, but then they've got that 3-bladed fixed blade that I'm really digging. So I don't know. I ain't shot a fixed blade and I couldn't remember, but I may have to give them a whirl this year.
We had Thursday, I think it was, somebody was asking what is a good backstop, portable backstop for his outdoor range, and we kind of chatted about it. But if anybody has any ideas, so far what we've come up with was the horse stall mat, but he said it needs to be portable and those are too heavy and all that, and I understand. And then, they make that fabric, but it's super expensive. And somebody said, we talked about the styrofoam, and then that's pretty much all we came up with.
Yep.
But if anybody has an idea to mention in the comments to him what you could use, he's wanting to just be able to put it behind his target. So if he shoots a shot and misses his target, it don't fling out into the wilderness or whatever.
I think he said he had a rocky slope where he was shooting at. Somebody commented on there about a block backer target, I think they said.
I meant to look that up from was it Bulldog Targets?
It might have been, but he put it back. It's on the, if you go back and look at the live feed from this past Thursday night, I remember seeing that comment up there, and he said it was like $50. I was like,
I have to look into that. And I guess it's according to how big a one you need too. If it needs to be like 10 by 10, you had a little bit of a disadvantage. But if a couple feet would work, that's another thing.
But Big Shot makes that one that you can